Well, hello, Facebook family and friends. Today is day number 2 of 21. Yesterday was awesome, wasn't it? I loved reconnecting with everybody yesterday. Amazing. So many people I haven't seen or talked to in so long. And it just felt really good to be back online and be back on live and just really reconnecting with everybody. Hi, Ken. Hi, Loretta. Thank you guys for popping in. So glad to have you here. Hi, Sweetness. You're a sweetie. God, this woman, she's just such love. Good day to you too, Ken. Hi, Daisy May and Tracy. Nice to see you guys. Thank you for popping in. Okay, so let's get right to it. Today is day 2 of 21, and today's topic is confusion. Okay, so, gosh, we're all confused at times, right? We get confused about what decision to make or which direction we should go in or, gosh, what to even eat for dinner that day sometimes, right? And confusion, and remember, I promised you yesterday that these lives for the next 21 days are going to be short, right? 15, 20 minutes. And just kind of going over a topic really quickly, a little bit about it, and then some solutions. So you're so confused, Ken? Oh, I know you. I don't think you're that confused, hon. Hi, Jennifer. Thank you for popping in. All right, so confusion. I promised you yesterday, too, that this isn't going to be therapy, and it's not. This is just a little heads up about some of these really tough things that we feel as an adult on this adulting roller coaster, right? And so confusion is one of those that can really get people because it can really kind of stop them dead in their tracks. And it can lead to other things like if I feel really confused for a long time about something, I might just give up and I might just shrink away from even dealing with whatever that is. Or I might find that I distract myself. So really, what is confusion? Confusion is a mass of jumbled thoughts. All right. It's not having that clarity, which is obvious, right? About a particular situation or a problem or even a thought process that you have. And it often feels like you're being pulled in a million different directions, right? Like on the one hand, you want this, but if you do that, what will the result be or what will the outcome be? So maybe if I make this choice or decision over here, then maybe that will be the result. And, oh, I'm so confused. Which way do I go? And the truth about confusion is that it's really bringing up the uncertainties, right? And honestly, guys, everything is unknown. The only thing that's known is the present moment of now, right? That's the only thing we know for sure. Everything else is unknown. I can't tell you what's going to happen 5 minutes from now. I don't know what will happen 2 hours from now or tomorrow or next week. And because there's so much uncertainty and unknownness in all of that, sometimes we can get trapped and caught up in confusion and just feel like we have no way out because what we really want down deep is to know this answer or to have this clarity or to be given a direction or guided towards something, right? But if we're not fully clear on how to kind of find that in that process of trying to figure out that known thing, we can get kind of stuck. And that's where confusion can hit us. And then what happens is we're often afraid to make choices, right? Hi, Vicki. Thank you for popping in. So good to see you. So happy you're here. Well, so if we're confused, and then you add to it that we're afraid to make choices, Velvet, oh, such a love. Hi, welcome. Thank you for stopping in. I'm just so grateful for all of you. And I know I keep stopping, but I have to acknowledge you guys. I have to acknowledge you guys for being here. Oh, Becca Boo, how are you? Connie, hello, welcome, guys. I love you all. I'm so happy you're here. Okay, so we're afraid to make choices. First of all, we feel a little bit of fear because of the unknown, right? And then we're afraid to make choices. Well, gosh, that's going to be confusing in and of itself. What if I have a gazillion choices? do this, do that, do this, do that, go here, go there. I don't know what to do. What should I do? And so we start reaching out to friends and family and other people that maybe can help us give a little clarity. And the truth is that, oh, I love you too, Velvet. The truth is that we're always going to have the answers inside. Now, I know that sounds really kind of spiritual, and for some of you, it might be, you know, what you call woo-woo and things like that. But we always have the answers inside. We just get caught up in our thoughts. Remember, confusion is a jumbled mass of thoughts. And because we're feeling that jumbled mass of thoughts, imagine you're like in a forest where there's this tangled web of vines that you're trying to maneuver through. And there's all these crossing vines, and you can kind of see through it a little bit to the path before you, but you know you got to kind of untangle these vines to get there. Well, it's the same thing in our thoughts, that when we have so much coming at us and we add that we have all these choices we can make, and we add that each choice could lead to a different path, well, now it's kicking up that fear a little bit that says, I don't really know which way to go because I ultimately don't know what the outcome on each choice will be. And so it's tough, right? And that's where confusion can kind of stop us and hold us back. Now, again, we all feel confused sometimes about various things, but what do you guys do when you're confused? Hi, Tammy. Thank you for popping in, love. So good to see you. Don't you guys just kind of like, no, not sorry you're late. There's replay. That's the beauty of Facebook and recording. Technology is awesome. That's the thing. Like, what do you guys do when you're confused? I'll bet you any money, and I'll wait to see if some of you respond, but I'll bet you any money that sometimes when there's this minor confusion, you just kind of pick a choice and you go with it, right? And it's kind of like picking a path. You just kind of pick a path, you go down that path, you see what the outcomes are on that path. And if you like it, awesome, you stay on the path. And if you don't like it, you kind of move to a different path. It's kind of the same thing. So when you're feeling confused by something and you find that it's really stopping you from something, you just kind of got to start. You kind of got to pick a path. So one of the things that is really helpful when you're feeling a bit confused is, here's one of the solutions, is to really look for what the choices are and write down what those choices are. Let's say you just have two choices about something. And hi, Katie. Thank you for popping in. So good to see you today. Let's say you have two choices about something. Should I take the job or not take the job? Well, write down those choices first of all. I have choice A, I have choice B. And then I want you to write down what are the positives, the pros, or what are the negatives, the cons, about either choice. Like, what in your mind are you saying to yourself could possibly be the positives and the pros or the negatives, the outcomes of either choice? Write those down, put those on paper. You want to have it laid out before you. If you trust just your thoughts, when your thoughts are in this jumbled mess, like this tangled set of vines, and it's just racing through your head with all this stuff, you're going to have a hard time clearly seeing through. But if you put it on paper, it's kind of right in front of you, and it's a little easier to then kind of decipher. Hi, Jean. Thank you so much. Welcome. I'm so glad you popped in. Love to see you. Thank you, Katie. I appreciate your sharing. You're always so full of love and support, and I am so grateful for that. Thank you so much. And anybody else, if you feel called to share these, if you think it will help other people, please feel free. Okay, so first write down the choices that you have. And even if you have a bunch of choices, write them all down. And write down just a couple of little pros and cons, positives and negatives, about each choice. What will happen if I choose A? Next, second little solution is write down how you'd feel with either choice. Now, this is important because you might find and see that you have, I can take the job or not take the job. Now, I've written down the pros and cons about each one, but I can still feel confused looking at that list because now I'm kind of dealing with the opposing sides of maybe the way I feel about them. So now if you write down how you feel about either choice, you'll be able to more clearly and systematically, step by step, look at how you actually feel about either choice. Does that make sense? Right? Give me a yes. Let me see what Connie said here. You can get it wrong and you will never get it done. All things work together for good. That is what I tell myself. Also sometimes wait for inspiration. Okay? Love it. Put on paper, jumbled mess, like having way too much information coming in. Absolutely, Katie. And see, that's the thing, Connie, is that I personally and professionally, don't yell at me here, don't believe in right and wrong. Please don't all run away. Because it's about perspective. It's about the meanings you give things and how you see it. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks or feels. So that's why it's critical if you write it down and then you're able to kind of look at how you feel about it, you're able to start to pull away those vines that are jumbled mess, and you can start to see some of the clarity of the path before you. Now, I've had a beautiful, amazing spiritual teacher who's actually on here right now, Katie, who said that the path can't be illuminated until you step on it. Think about that. If I have this path before me and I have this jumbled mess of vines that I can't quite see through because I'm feeling confusion about which way to go, a decision to make, something I need to kind of do for myself, whatever it might be. And I see this path and then I see other paths before me, but I can't get there. Well, how am I going to find that illumination and that clarity until I actually just start? So I have to first learn what it is I'm feeling about that to start slowly clearing away that tangled mess of jumbled thoughts, okay? All right, so that's number 2. Here's the biggest one. Ask yourself, what am I afraid of if I pick the one over the other? If I pick A over B? If I pick D over E? I don't care what it is, right? What am I afraid I'll either lose or not have if I pick this choice versus that choice? If I make that decision versus this decision? These are really, really simple things that you can do and simple questions that you can ask yourself to really understand how to move through confusion. And again, we're not going real deep here. We're not diving in real heavy. What's the deeper meaning of confusion for you for your whole life? Lay on the couch and tell me your whole life history and we shall work through it together. No, that's not what these lives are about. Sophie, sorry, I'm so excited. Hi, Sophie, I haven't seen you in forever. Welcome, thank you for popping in. It's about us kind of working through that jumbled mess of thoughts that are in our head and some of the different feelings that have come up with those thoughts, okay? So confusion is a jumbled mass of thoughts. It's that we're feeling and being pulled in 1,000 different directions because we don't know the outcome and we feel like we're uncertain of the outcome or if the choice we make will result in something. And then we're afraid to make the choices because we have all these choices to make, right? So look at what your choices are, write them down. Pretty important to have them right in front of you so you can more clearly begin to see. Look at what you're feeling about either choice and look at what you're afraid that will happen or that you'll lose or that will be the outcome if you make either choice. And I guarantee you, you shall find more clarity, which will start to diminish and release some of the confusion when you do that. Okay, so any questions or thoughts, please feel free to drop them in the comments below. I do review the this live afterwards and try to answer questions if there are any. Remember that if you want a copy of these 21 days of just the audio, it'll be an MP3, please make sure that you send me a private message or drop them in the comments below that you would like them, and somehow you have to get me your email address though. So if you don't want it publicly out on the comments, because this is a public video, then please drop me a private message and I will be more than happy to get it for you when it's done. Please know that it'll take a little bit of time after the 21 days for me to edit a little bit. I'm not editing any of the good stuff out. I'm just going to edit some of the other stuff and all that good stuff to make it flow really smooth from one day to the next. And I shall be back on, let me look at my schedule. Tomorrow, yep, same time. Pretty much I set the schedule. Uh-oh, I'm blurry. Camera. Hello, camera. Come back into focus, camera. Ah, there we go. Technology is fun, right? I set my schedule for the next 21 days. We end on August 28th, I believe it is. And I think there's only 2 days where I won't be on at 2 p.m. But otherwise, you can count on me at 2. I love you all. I would love to hear your feedback and comments. Share if you feel so inclined. I hope this helped you today. And tomorrow, we're going over Overwhelm. So be sure to come back at 2 tomorrow or catch it on replay. I love you all. Have an amazing day. I'm grateful for you. I thank you. And I'll see you tomorrow. Ciao for now.